So here was the 832 time period going forward for the Algo Q strategy. Bit choppy out of the gates, but then we had this nice rally right here. I was able to get over 700 for my daily goal on 150K accounts off that master account. The other account that I'm running on the pivot point strategy, $1,504, and it's done. So anyhow, let's go take a look at the pivot point chart next. It was a very nice double top rollover signal pre-market. We rotated much lower on that one. That was a reaction to news hitting at the time. Market lifted, and then the first signal after 832 was a short. Didn't really get much of a push, came down, retest low, but then the long, the second signal, ran up and did really good. So it did 1504. I'm playing around with position sizing. I've upped my position sizing on the pivot point strategy versus what I typically trade on long signals. I am working these on 300K accounts, so I'm going for 1,250 a day and then shutting it down. In this case, I was in a trade that was running and it was going beyond 1250 mark, and I watched it. And when we started getting real over, I flipped that trade out to hold 1,500. So that was a 2 and done day. Then the mom strat, I made a little bit pre-market in this sell-off here. I was only in 2 MNQs. And then I turned it on, got chopped up a bit, but when that long move happened, got me back above 700. And as it was running, I just flipped that out. So anyhow, 150K accounts did over 700 daily goal, 300 accounts did over 1250 for the day. I'm done trading for the day. And all in all, even though there's some serious chop at times, the pivot point strategy, and did pretty well through it. I've had some commentary from some traders that are doing the diamond dot trading, and they're seeing how effective that can be when you have a chart optimized to do that. I don't have this chart optimized for that approach. I have this chart more optimized to just go hit the open and get my hit and get out of there for the day. Now today, since we had the big move, I did not have my strategy turned on to start at 832. I just waited for the first signal, which in this case was a short. And it cycled, gave a little push lower, came down and retested. As it came down, I was watching. I thought if it trades down into this area below, I'm going to blip out that short trade and leave the strategy alone. I was over kind of where I wanted to be on the initial trade, but I got distracted and it just stayed on, and then it caught the long trade and got me pretty good. Now I'm in much higher position size, trading in 300K account, master account, than in anything that I'd ever trade for a 150K account. So anyhow, all in all, that worked out for the day. 2 trades and done. It's been fairly choppy where the market lifted, consolidated a bit, lifted again. This was not surprising to me. Institutionals basically came in right after the open, let the market settle to the pre-market lows, and boy, did they come in with buy program activity. They came in with, they were hitting options, automated, they were hitting stocks, and they were hitting futures in concert. And basically, Rescue Squad came in and lifted it off the lows area retest this morning. Okay, so all in all, that's the pivot point. We're trading that fully automated. There's something I'm going to update on this strategy, and I'm incorporating it into the update to the Algo IQ program mom signal strategy. What we're going to do is, if I'm in a, let's say I turn on my chart to be long only mode. So I turn on my strategy and I say I want to work only longs, and I catch this signal long. It will stay in the trade until it hits, some sort of profit objective you have, or on a counter signal. If you get a counter signal, it will automatically flatten the trade for you. I'm going to have that something you can toggle on and off. That way, if you're in a long trade and you're not watching it, or for whatever reason, if you're not trail stopping, at least you could get some profit instead of having the trade come all the way back to your break even plus final stop position if you don't have the trailing turned on. So you can toggle on that a counter signal will flatten out position you're in. That way you always kind of have something there, the ability to lock in profits other than your protective stop. Because the way I use it when I get into a trade, once I hit my break-even threshold, the stop goes to break-even plus and just sits there until I blip out the trade or until I get a counter signal. But if I'm in long-only mode, it's just going to stay on and stay on and stay on if I don't have the trail stop toggled on. And then theoretically, in this case, if I left it on, even though I got a short signal, it'd still be on. Then I got another long signal. It would not put on another long trade because I'm already in long, and then it would lift again. And at some point, it'll hit either a daily profit objective, or I go in and flatten out the trade and call it a day. So this way, at least when you get a counter signal, you can have the option to have that close out your trade. It won't initiate a new trade short because you're in long-only mode, but it'll at least flatten out the trade. So if you were like stepped away and you're in the short trade, and there are your stops in here, and then it runs and runs and runs, goes to your break-even plus threshold, with stop goes to break-even plus, and you're not paying attention, at some point when you get a long signal, it'll flatten out the trade flow if you're not, watching it. So we're going to add that. That will be in the mom strat, where we're going to have scalp dots trading and non-signals trading, something we decided to add yesterday. So we're working on that today. We're going to add that over to the pivot point trading automated strategy right after we get done putting out the mine strat. Hopefully today updated with this additional feature that I was thinking I better add in while we're working on the update. So anyhow, good additional stuff on deck. So if you have any questions on the pivot point trading, manual and automated, there's tons of videos up on this already. Just go to info@prompttradingindicators.com. So last thing we take a quick look at, you can see we had this put. We had the big sell-off prior day. As soon as we went outside the bands, buyers came in, and basically all of yesterday was a big institutional and grind-up day. We just barely peeked our head above the prior pivots. So those are classic level sweep events. So we had a level sweep event. Here we basically had a levels test, and then big rotation down to the lower side of the bands. Had a nice W pattern and lift out of that region. Came down, retested, levels test, lifted, and we're back kind of in the middle of the road. Just remember, the super bands do a brilliant job of defining the dynamic range of price. Where are we overbought? Where are we oversold? And don't forget, these super bands, this is the 7th evolution of the bands that I've ever built as part of the Algo IQ program. And we have static mode. Check that. That puts it into a mode where there's zero recalculation. I'm currently running it in dynamic mode, which is like 1/7, or about 1/7, bar by bar adjustment versus something like running TMA bands. So we give you 2 modes to operate in. I love it in this mode. This is the exact mode that I run for all my institutional FX trading, where basically all we do is trade back and forth from one side of the bands to the other, fully automated, but in 12 to 16 instrument FX portfolios. Been doing that for 9.5 years now. Okay, so there you have. If you have any questions, just let me know. info@gridalgo.com. If you have questions on the pivot point trading, you can hit up my programmer's email at info@proptradingindicators.com. And I think he has a Prop Trading Indicators YouTube channel up too now. Okay, there you have it. Have a great morning. If you have any questions, let us know.